The story.
So the traditional story is a love story between this guy's character, Rackstraw, and the woman who would be my character's daughter, Josephine. They're on a warship, but and he loves her, but there's a class difference.
Yeah.
And I have already set up a marriage. My character, the captain, has already set up a marriage between his daughter and Sir Joseph Porter, the KCB. And the tension is they love each other, but she's promised to somebody else. There's class differences, and I'm trying to stand in the way of it, and so.
It's all about the class differences, really, and how they can overcome that.
In a way, I'm kind of the villain.
You and Sir Joseph, kind of.
Yeah, but like the thing that makes me think that Sir Joseph isn't so much the villain is just he just likes her. He wants to have the marriage, and my character's knowledge that she is unhappy, but she's going to marry him anyway. Really, it makes me think of my character as not being so great. I mean, he's fantastic, but he's really, cutthroat.
I play Dick Deadeye, that's correct, isn't it?
Yeah.
And in the description of the G&S book that I have, Dick Deadeye was hit by a cannon and walks like a crab, consequently, of being hit by a cannon. So I'm playing him as very much sort of like an old sea dog who's been on a boat far too long. Not only he's really got his sea legs, but he's turned into a bit of a creature, sort of, he's become very accustomed to being on the boat. I don't think he's ever been on land. He may have been born on this boat, kind of thing. So, and actually the Deadeye, although I do have, he does have a dead eye, it's actually referring to he's very good with a gun. He's a dead eye with his gun. So that's actually what it refers to. But I love playing this character. He's very sort of, it's like a creature on isn't it? Like on stage, which is really fun, and teasing everyone and chasing after them and just being crazy old me. It's good fun.
But how's the crab work?
It's good. Yeah. He likes to keep a low sort of stance, keep his balance in case the boat waves or gets knocked or something. Yeah.
So sweet little Buttercup. She refers to herself as a poor bumboat woman, but basically on stage on the ship, and I'm selling all my wares to the sailors. She's the first one of the female cast that you have any interaction with, and it's nice. I get a cheeky little moment where I'm the first kind of transformation that comes in the show, which is really, really nice. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes with the audience. But she has some nice little parts of her story are woven in with quite a few of the principal characters. Don't want to give too much away for anybody who doesn't know the show. But she's a lot of fun to play. She's got the element of a bit of a gypsy woman in her as well. One of the songs that she sings in the second act, and it's nice to be able to kind of like draw on those kind of moments as well. And she's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, she is very fun.
I'm having a lot of fun using my falsetto, because this is the first time in my career, my many years on the stage, that I've had a chance to really utilise my falsetto, because most of the parts go to people 5 inches shorter than me. I don't often get jobs where I get to use it because I either don't fit, I'm never going to be Frankie Valli. I'm far too tall, far too broad, and never thought that I would get cast as a female character.
I
so
thought
this
you were
is-
joking. When you, you're like, I was like, who are you playing? You're like Buttercup. I was like, oh, you're brilliant.
The best one was Juan, who's playing the captain. We were sat next to each other, so he's where Jazz was when we were doing like the introductions. And it got to me, and I said, "I'm Scotty. I'm going to be playing Little Buttercup." And he was looking, he was paying attention, and he just went, "Whoa!"
Little Buttercup. Little Buttercup grew up pretty quick.
Big old Buttercup.
Big Buttercup. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's I'm really enjoying kind of playing with her and still getting to grow as well. Like, you know, still finding new things every day, and it's really, really nice.
So fly of your buttercup, dear little buttercup, see you should never be shy. So fly of your buttercup, poor little buttercup, come of your buttercup.
This one knows a bit more.
A little bit, but that's just from like a few decades of chorus work, and then working at Opera Australia and having them put on the Mikado, which I don't know if Sasha Regan has done that
I
yet.
think she has.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. But and the only knowledge I've had of H.M.S. Pinafore was, of course, The Simpsons, when Sideshow Bob gave Bart
Yes.
Simpson an ultimatum, like, what did he want for his final request? And Bart asked him to sing the entire score of the H.M.S. Pinafore. And look it up on YouTube, boys and girls. It's excellent. So that's all I knew.
Bart, any last requests?
Well, there is one, but... Nah.
No, go on.
Well, you have such a beautiful voice.
Guilty as charged.
Uh-huh. Anyway, I was wondering if you could sing the entire score of the HMS Pinafore.
Very well, Bart. I shall send you to heaven before I send you to hell. And a 2, and a 3, and we sail the ocean blue, and our saucy ship's of beauty. We are sober men and true, and attentive to our duty.
I saw that one for when I was researching this. That clip came up of The Simpsons. But for me, it was mainly at drama school. We did like a little like project on it, but I don't remember which Gilbert and Sullivan I did. But yeah, that's all I knew of them before this.
My first ever show when I was 17 years old, I was a late bloomer, was Pirates of Penzance. And oh my!
It's the first one I saw.
Oh, was it the Chelmsford
No.
Amateur Dramatic? No, unfortunately
No,
not.
this was the Haddon Music Theatre.
It was, well, that was a 5-star production, let me tell you. The Chelmsford Amateur Dramatic Will. But no, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Like, just being part of that sound is there's no word for it. It feels amazing, you know, to be on stage and being a part of that. I think it's brilliant. It's where musical theatre sort of comes from, you know, where it was born, you know, especially comedy, and
Yeah.
so I can definitely relate to it.
It's kind of that bridgeway gap between kind of opera and musical theatre. It's kind of like what filled the gap as we kind of moved. But it's lovely to be singing it. Like, I've never been in a GNS before. I've been in a kind of a GNS. I've been in the Hot Mikado. It was one of my third year shows. Played Nanky Poo.
Oh, of course you did.
And back when I could play the juvenile lead. And yeah, I'd seen one or two of them, but my first experience was Pirates as well. And yeah, stunning to listen to the score, because it's all still funny now.
Yeah.
Like the way that they're written, they're so clever and they're so witty that
It's
it's
very
still
British, isn't it? Very British humour, like,
Yeah.
you know, if you like, reminds you of your nan. My nan's going to enjoy this, for sure.
There's mercies and then there's challenges. I think the mercy is that it's in English, and tonally it's very supportive. High notes are supported by good crashing chords underneath you, soft things are supported with the orchestration because they write amazingly well. Diction, telling a story to people who speak English and understand it. If we're singing in English, they're going to expect to understand what's going on. And some of the songs are quick, and we not only want to be believable, but understood. And a challenge in a room like this, where we get to sing everything acoustically, is how do we make sure that every person in every seat gets to just really enjoy it?
Yeah, I think it's definitely every project has a different kind of challenge. For this, definitely the score was, for me, particularly very high, and also just the words. You're not used to doing such old text, so I spent a lot of my time when I was learning the material like looking up every other word. So it was more that kind of stuff to actually know what I'm saying.
Old English.
Yeah.
You mentioned the acoustics. Is it quite daunting to be on mic?
Not for me.
Not for me, no.
It's nice for someone not to be like, we don't have to turn him down. Like, I quite enjoy that. Which
You
is
get
like,
that look?
Yeah. Like, if you just turn it down a little bit, yeah, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think the humor is amazing, and then the added layer of having an all-male cast just adds a certain. Have you seen any of it? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so you'll know what I mean when there's a difference between high campery and then people playing it straight down the line. And there's a lot of people playing it straight down the line, but I have a soft spot for high campery. So.
Now dance with all, whoever you may be. If you want to rise to the top of the tree, if your soul isn't fitted to an office stool, be careful to be guided by this golden rule. Be careful to be guided by this golden rule. Stick close to your desks and never go to sleep. And you all may be rulers of the Queen's Navy. Stick close to your desks and never go to sea. And you all may be rulers of the Queen's Navy.
And what's it like working in an all-male cast?
It's pretty good, I'd say. You know, you miss. I mean, sometimes you're like, that female energy is nice, but then when we found out, because we started the show and I was like, I wonder why it's an all-male cast. What is the story behind? Why does it have to be an all-male cast? But then Sasha explained to us, the origins of this, oranges. The oranges of this were, men at war being in prisoner of war camps, putting on these performances during wartime, to keep their spirits up. And I can definitely relate to that. I had a great uncle who was in a prisoner of war camp, and he actually wrote a book about it, and they were doing all sorts of things to keep themselves from keeping alive, and keeping keeping their energy up. And especially nowadays with everything that's going on in the world with the wars, and you need these moments in life where people, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, if you're on a battleship in our case, you need those moments that make you human, that make you laugh, that make life a little bit more beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's really important.
I've worked with a bunch of men many years ago on the 12 tenors. That was like one of my first jobs.
Nice.
But not since, and it's so lovely. It's so much banter, it's so fun.
The last show I did was right before this was Five Guys Named Mo, and it's all male cast. And certainly we all felt like a very tight group of brothers, but that is a very small cast compared to this, because that was 6 of us, the 5 guys and the character that I played. And this is a lot more guys. But having a group of, even the guys playing girls are real guys at the end, and there's a very fraternal, collegiate spirit backstage. It actually is wonderful. I miss working with women though, so I'm looking forward to. I mean, we have women. All the bosses are women, but
That's
like
true.
Let's
Balances out.
Talk about Sasha. You mentioned Sasha. What's it like working with her?
Yeah, it's great. I've met Sasha a few times and done various things, like had play readings and done a few auditions, but this is the first time like being in the room with her, and it's nice. Like, I'm enjoying getting to create my version of Buttercup, because this has obviously been, is this the 3rd time? I think this is the 3rd time they've done HMS, and I know that it's been kind of different every time, but I'm you know, I put my little slants on it. You know, I've incorporated my Scottish roots, and just kind of like keeping that as part of the character, because you get to, you know, play and have a bit of fun with yourself, your own personality in the parts as well. And she's really encouraging of that, which is really nice, because there's so many jobs you can get these days where you do just have to go in and do what someone's maybe done in the one cast before you, or 20 prior casts before you. It's just like, hit your mark, do this. So whenever you get to do a show like this and you get a chance to play, it's really, really nice.
Yeah, and you get the chance to explore and to try stuff, and if it works, we'll keep it, and if it doesn't work, she'll let you know. So you feel very safe with Sasha as well, because she's done this so many times before. You feel very secure, and you know, this is a very safe place. We know that we don't need to worry that it's not going to work.
Because she knows with these specifically what works for them and what won't work. Like even if you're really keen on it, it's like, but it's just not going to work with.
Yeah,
So
like playing
nice.
the women, it's about being sincere as a woman. It's not about taking the piss of being a woman. It's about just being that character, and that's what we found during the rehearsal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Claude.
So how's it been working with Sasha?
Terrible.
Well, we worked with her previously on a workshop
For Artaban.
For Artaban.
And he played Artaban.
I did.
Sang his tits off. Can I say tits?
You
tits,
suck your
tits,
tits
tits.
off as well.
And
So we love her. We're massive fans.
Yeah.
Just her vision, especially now that we're getting into tech and I'm getting to watch bits, you just see it all come together. I was like, the costume with the design, with her vision of it makes so much sense. I think it's brilliant.
And things that didn't particularly make sense in the room, you go, oh, now I see what, exactly.
You see the whole
what he said.
picture come together. Yeah.
And what about Lizzi?
Lizzi? Oh, who's Lizzi? Choreographer? Oh, I don't know, darling. No, she's lovely. She's very talented, obviously, very talented lady. She gets me in all the right places at the right time, so she must be doing her job properly somewhere.
No, she's fab as well. She's a great energy in the room.
Yeah, definitely. She does bring a nice energy to the room.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's a firecracker, and she's very specific and also has a vision for what she wants to have done. And seeing it come together. And, well, there's that tension when people do traditional versions of a thing versus a non-traditional version of a thing. And this is very much a non-traditional version of this piece. So for people who know the piece, we are telling the story, but there are non-traditional elements of it. And the all-male aspect of it is just one kind of corner of that. That we're all in a warship. It's the Second World War, and we are passing the time by telling H.M.S. Pinafore is a thing that will sit in the background of the entire production, which leads us to costuming and everything else.
Like sheep wearing every fold, all that glitters is not gold. Stalks turn out to be but logs, bones are but inflated frogs. Sorry, free drop the wind and soak the mill, target his ambitious grill, kill the fawning if you will, but it is a fun skill.
So this is a very unique building because of the renovation work being done so that they actually totally nod at all times to what was here before. It feels, to my eyes, like we're stepping into an abandoned place and bringing it to life, although it was already brought back to life a while ago. Everything is really
So
clean, but it
beautiful.
looks dirty. And
I mean, yeah, it's my first time being in the space today. I'm blown away. It's so cool, and like the lighting just brings it to life. The dressing rooms are great as well. Which is
but there's this. I think the immediacy of the direct connection back to history. It's I find it a little overwhelming. Like, yes, people could have been listening to this exact music done acoustically, you know, certainly in 1878 when this thing was written. So, like, you know, it feels like it's a piece of history. This could have been a place where they heard this music right when it was just being written, and that's really cool.
I was like really interested by like the actual building and like, ooh, what, you know, when was it here? Because it used to be. I've learned too much about it now, but it was
this building.
Yeah, So like the tradition was that they would build these big like variety halls
Yeah.
onto the back of pubs.
Oh, right.
So there was a pub, and this building was 3 houses and a shop.
Yeah.
And then there was the pub, and then the theatre next door.
And that was an alley, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think
Creepy.
it's like the bit when you come out of the theatre. It's
Yeah. I love it.
It's cute. Have you seen the porthole upstairs?
No.
If you go up to where your dressing room is, you
Yeah.
get to the top of the stairs, there's like portholes that would run along the side of the theatre.
Oh, you can see.
And you can look
yeah,
into
yeah,
it.
I
the
did
rest of
see
them are
that.
blocked
Yeah.
off. Anyway,
I never use a big
yeah, no, I've been wanting to come to Wilton's for like the longest time, and I've never even managed to visit it. So then to get a job in kind of casting in a role here and be performing, it's stunning. It's so beautiful inside, and how it's been kept, because I know it's been like a bit of a journey over the last sort of 100 years, but it's absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous to sing in there as well. It's the most gorgeous. Oh God, what do we call
Acoustics.
that? That's the one. The acoustics. Yeah.
And you just imagine all the people that have been on that stage as well over
Yeah.
the years, and the different varieties of shows, and you can just imagine it. You know, you can feel the history in the walls, and
Yeah.
you know, it's such a beautiful building. You know, even with all the plaster falling off and the old bricks, and it's still
Yeah.
somehow absolutely just an amazing atmosphere. And yeah, I'm very excited.
But they've got a gorgeous bit on the other side of the stairs, you know, on the far side.
Yeah.
They've still got some of the original wallpaper.
Oh,
Yeah. It's hanging off a little bit, but it's there, and I'm like,
get a sample.